The movement of public anger, freedom, and the beginning of Pakistan's true liberation is a reflection of the current situation in a region that, despite its natural beauty and strategic importance as a hub of political conflicts, has now become the center of a popular movement highlighting the struggle for fundamental human rights. As this war is neither about border disputes nor the chessboard of global politics, but is being fought for the basic rights of bread, clothing, and shelter, the voice of the people here, suppressed for years, is now rising in the form of street protests. But, regrettably, attempts are being made to silence their cries with bullets instead of listening to them. This narrative presents a comprehensive, analytical, and impactful picture of the current situation in Azad Kashmir, clarifying not only the depth of the public movement, but also highlighting its historical, economic, and social background. On September 29, 2025, under the leadership of the Jammu and Kashmir Joint Awami Action Committee, JKJAAC, the people of Azad Kashmir launched a peaceful protest driven apparently by a simple demand: cheap flour, reduction in electricity bills, and the abolition of unfair taxes. But these demands were not limited to economic issues alone. They were a collective cry against years of deprivation, corruption, and government apathy, as the JKJAAC, comprising traders, laborers, students, and civil society representatives, presented a 38-point charter of demands including payment of water usage charges from WAPDA, free health and education, and local autonomy. The JKJAAC strove to keep its movement organized and peaceful, and from September 29th to October 4th, markets remained closed in Muzaffarabad, Rawalakot, and other districts. Students held rallies and laborers blocked roads. This protest was neither a separatist movement nor a political party's agenda, but a voice raised for basic human rights, bread, electricity, and justice. Yet the government response pushed this peaceful protest toward violence when on October 1st and 2nd security forces in Muzaffarabad, including over 2,000 police and rangers, personnel fired directly at protesters, killing at least 8 and injuring over 100, while internet shutdowns and road blockades attempted to weaken organizational efforts but instead fueled public anger. Government statements claimed protesters threw stones and damaged public property. But the question remains whether asking for flour for one's children, relief in electricity bills, or demanding justice is such a grave crime that it warrants a response with bullets. This government reaction is not new to the people of Azad Kashmir, as historically there has been a tradition of suppressing protests with force in this region since the 1970s, silencing voices or deferring demands with temporary concessions. But today, as global economic downturns and local corruption have exhausted public patience, this movement is not merely a protest, but an awakening of collective consciousness. The current crisis in Azad Kashmir is not just the result of inflation or subsidy removal, but reflects years of accumulated deprivation, as this region, a vital energy source for Pakistan, continues to suffer from developmental backwardness despite its immense economic potential. A large portion of hydropower revenue flows into the federal treasury, while funds allocated for local development remain inadequate. For example, Mangla Dam, located on Azad Kashmir soil, generates billions of rupees annually without providing fair royalties or meaningful concessions to local communities. Similarly, despite having a higher literacy rate than many other Pakistani regions, the lack of employment opportunities has forced thousands of educated youths to migrate, while government corruption has shattered public trust, with subsidy funds often lining the pockets of high officials and development projects, remaining confined to paperwork, such as the 2024 federal announcement of a 23 billion rupee subsidy, which was largely lost to corruption and opaque administrative systems, leaving essential facilities like clean water, healthcare, education, and employment as distant dreams. The crisis in Azad Kashmir is not just a local issue but exposes deeper weaknesses within Pakistan's federal structure, as similar grievances exist across other marginalized regions from Gilgit-Baltistan to Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Economically, the crisis carries serious consequences for Pakistan, as failure to meet subsidy demands in Azad Kashmir risks triggering similar protests in other provinces already suffering under nearly 50% inflation, while any disruption to electricity supply from the region would place additional strain on the national grid and further escalate energy prices across the country.